What's up, guys and gals? This is Thoughtless with Keith and Tom, a tasteful observation of the world and its happenings by two complete morons. I'm Keith.
I'm Tom.
And today we have a special guest, an actual
guest.
Professional comedian.
Not just a family friend or a family member.
Or a random drunk dad.
Would be a part of my family. It's my cousin Rick. Rick, go ahead. You can introduce yourself. Let everyone know what you do.
First of all, let's not say professional. I would say semi-professional. I've been paid
more
to do
stand-up.
Yes. Like I texted you the one time, consistency is the key. So that's what I was trying to find in Los Angeles, but we'll get into that too.
Yeah, we're going to talk. I want to cover all the bases of your experience out there and what you felt about the landscape and what went on for you.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, honestly.
Thank you so much for the invite, man.
No, it's great that you're. I mean, it's nice that you're home. We don't have to do this through a Zoom meeting or something like that with fucking horrible audio quality.
Yeah, man. This was like the perfect thing. Like, as soon as I got home, I was bummed, and it was just like, and then you text me that, and my mom's like, your mood changed. Like, yeah, I got something to do now. Like, I got something to plan and something to prepare for. Well, so it's awesome.
I think it's pretty rare. I mean, obviously, we're both from the same family. To have such similar interest in the same exact, field that we want to be involved with is... Yeah, pretty rare.
And what sucks is most comedians are loners, so it's tough to find somebody that's going to be interested in comedy and also support you.
Exactly.
Because it's difficult. So to have somebody else that's just interested in it, because that's what I was looking for, like a mentor when I went out to Los Angeles. But it's hard to come by. But now it's just like, okay, if Tommy and Keith are into this, I could absolutely just guide you through it. Like it's a fun process.
Yeah.
Like on my dry erase board, it just says enjoy the ride, because it's just like, you've wanted to do this since you were a little kid, and now you're fucking doing it. It's like, okay, this is awesome.
Well, that's why I started with the podcast. I thought it was such a reachable landscape to get out there and put yourself out there in some shape or form to at least dip your toes in the water with the comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it definitely pushes it out to, it pushes it out to the world, but at least to an audience of, whoever wants to listen and whatnot. But someone may, come across it and it might build that career that you're looking for.
That's all it is. You just keep putting it out there. Like, I have a great thing on my phone that was I think a dance coach, and she wrote this letter to the dancer. I forget what it is, but the gist of it is, as an artist, it's not your job to determine if your art is good or not. That's everybody else. You just make it and put it out there. Let the world decide what it's worth and all that. You just keep putting it out there. And that's all I just keep in the back of mind. Like I said, 10 minutes ago, 50% of the people are going to love you, but the other people, you're going to alienate them at one point, and they're going to wind up hating you. But some of them will tune in just because they hate you, and they might want to see you fail. They're just jealous of that. So like, I'm going to tune in out of hate. And people will do that. But whoever's listening's listening. Yeah. And then they talk about it at work, and they start telling their friends, and like, these two dickheads in Jersey are talking schmack, doing this. I hate these guys. And then the guy next to him in his cubicle goes like, I got to give these guys a listen. And then he agrees with you. Like, yeah, I hate everybody too.
Yeah. Look at the internet. A lot of it's predicated on hate. I mean, and that's what fucking entices people.
That's what the internet's for.
That's what gets me viewership, fine, so
exactly.
be it. As long as I get the viewership.
Yeah.
No, a lot of it, as you said, a lot of the thought behind the name was thoughtless. Don't put thought into it.
No,
go out there, put it out there, don't think about it, and fucking run with it.
That's pretty much what it is. We just come on here, we just say whatever's on our mind. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's been pretty evident from the first dozen or so episodes. There was a little lack of preparation because we don't want to put too much thought into it. We're going to come here thoughtless.
But you also, you just start... Just jump. You'll land. Exactly. Don't worry. You'll land. And what are people going to write dumb comments on the internet? All right. Sometimes I would see the comments and get all sweaty. I'm like, why am I sweating? They're not here. They're not here to beat me up. I don't give a shit.
No, and if you're doing something you're passionate about, who gives a fuck? As long as you're pushing the content that you're, proud of, or at least, want to stand behind, go for it.
Absolutely. 100%. And that's why I said consistency is the key.
Yeah. That's I want to push as much content as we possibly can just to gain an audience and to put out stuff that I'm proud of, stuff that I enjoyed, that I would listen to,
right?
Which I think I have a superb taste. So.
Exactly, we all do.
Yeah.
All right, I want to jump right into this, man. So you have been in LA for how long now?
Just under 4 years. So February of 2021 would have been 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You decided to leave. What was the thought behind that? We'll start from the end like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, no, I get you. Well, actually, what happened was I was living in Philadelphia. I was living in Old City, and I was working at Thomas Jefferson Medical University.
Okay.
And I was still doing stand-up. Like, I started doing stand-up in September 2001, after I graduated high school.
A prime time to do it because there was plenty of content to make fun of.
Yeah, but that's another thing. At that time, the internet really wasn't a thing yet. So,
yeah, you definitely wouldn't have faced the
there was no
diversity or
YouTube
judgment that you do now.
That wasn't a thing. But when I was living in Philadelphia, I was writing this show called The Valet.
Okay.
And I had a small Kickstarter, like $2,700, that was successful. And I put I don't know, $3,000, $3,500, my own money, and bought those cameras and all those tripods and shit I brought in with me, and
why didn't we set them up?
I don't know.
Who cares? It's all right. You guys don't want to see my face anyway.
It's pretty bloated.
I got this really cool mustache going on.
No, you look like you touch kids. You do.
That's exactly what it looks like.
You got a fucking hat on. All you need is a van, and you'll definitely be touching kids by the end of the week.
That's all right. Anyway, to the point.
So yeah, I was just writing this show, The Valet, and it was based on true stories from, because I used to work at a valet place on Route 73 called the Regency Palace. I was like 17, 18, parking cars and shit. And we would just get away with murder. We would steal people's cars and drive them onto like these high-end Porsches, like two, Porsche Cayennes would come in. We'd park them. Those people would go into a New Year's Eve party for the night. Yeah. We'd take them out on the highway. We'd bring them back.
So needless to say, your boss fucking loved you.
Oh, the manager was just this dry humor dude called, his name was Brian Wilson. He was hilarious, but he had this dry sense of humor. He was so weird and funny at the same time. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I start writing a show, not only based on that, but I also worked, before I got the job at Jefferson, I worked at Steven Starr's high-end catering company in Philadelphia. So we'd do all these high-end gigs, bartending at, the car show. They would have that black tie gala before the car show would open.
So you offhandedly got the hobnob a little bit, and you're like, well, what do I need to do to get into the, this sort of lifestyle?
Well, it was going. Like, we were putting the valet together. Like, I was having table reads. I was holding auditions in Philadelphia, and it started to progress because we were going to make this web series.
Yeah.
And then the people that I invited in, they weren't professional actors and comedians, so they didn't really want to do it. They were just doing it because I asked them as a favor, which I'm eternally grateful for. But when we had the read-through on like a Saturday afternoon, they brought all this alcohol in, and it turned into a party. And it was just like,
there was a lack of passion there. The passion was only on your side. Everybody else saw this as an opportunity. Oh, my buddy wants to hang out and do something cool.
Yeah.
I want to go there and party while we do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, okay, I can't.
That's why you don't get into business with your friends either.
Yeah, it was tough. So I love my friends for it because they were willing, like we had great table reads because they were willing to play these characters. And that's how I knew. I was like, I have something here. So then I did the show at Milk Boy. That was like 2016. The week later, I headlined at Milk Boy, crushed that show, and then the week later, I flew out to Los Angeles for this screenwriters. It's not a contest, but a screenwriters, symposium where you can sit there and pitch ideas to studio execs.
Okay.
So it's
just
an
try
all-day
to get your
thing.
feet wet in the.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can pitch whatever. And I would just find the companies that were working on Always Sunny in Philadelphia or the Sons of Anarchy, those gritty kind of comedy shows. Like, that's the people I want to go to.
You went for 2 FX shows.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, but I wanted that production team that was willing. Like, I couldn't go to Disney and be like, hey, we're going to, be showing blowjobs in cars and shit. And just like, no.
I got an idea. It's going to involve a princess and she's going to be blowing a dude.
Yeah, don't worry. So I was pitching around to people, and the one production company I sat down was with the Cartel, and I just thought that was a cool name. It's like, the Cartel, that's a cool production. So I sat down with this woman, and I'm pretty sure her name was Danielle. So I sat down, I told her The Valet. She's like, that's pretty good. She's like, what else do you have? I was like, I also have this high-end animated series that I won't say on the podcast because I don't want anybody to take it. But I started telling her the ins and outs.
Keep your good creative content in your head.
Yeah, I told her all the ins and outs of this
Adult
ideas.
animated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she was like, holy shit. She's like, I love that idea. Here's my card. Keep in touch. She's like, also the valet. She's like, I love that idea, but turn it into a bigger ensemble. Like instead of just like 3 dudes parking cars, turn it into like 5 or 6, like the life of these 7, 8 people working at this place. Waitresses, not just valet guys, waitresses, the bartenders, the chefs. She's like, have that whole world interact. She's like,
She
that would be
almost
interesting.
told you to turn it into Friends.
Yeah, basically, but like a gritty Friends, like in this catering world.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
Oh yeah, so this is right around when entertainment was shifting to where it was more adult.
Yeah,
than like Friends was family friendly.
Yeah, it was the multicam, not on a sound stage. They're going outside. They're doing stuff. Yeah. So I came back to Philadelphia, and at the time I was living in Northern Liberties with my buddy Greg, and I came home this was May 2016. I came home. I was like, dude, I'm gonna start saving up, and I'm gonna move to Los Angeles. Like I'm don't tell anybody. I don't want to make it this big spectacle. I'm just going to start saving up. And then my buddy who owned a house in South Philly is like, dude, come live with me. I'll charge you like $500 rent, and you could save up as much money as you can before you leave. I was like, all right. So I moved in with him, 8 months, saved up my shit. February of 2017, blasted off to Los Angeles. And then I just came back, like a month ago.
Well, I don't blame you for it. LA is in a position now where people are leaving.
Yeah.
A lot of people are leaving.
There was nothing to do. Like the life I went out there to pursue is no longer there. Like I was performing live shows all the time and doing sketch comedy, improv comedy shows, storytelling shows, doing all this shit. Like I told you before we went on air, I just literally got cast in a sketch comedy series at Second City right on Hollywood Boulevard. The show was going to premiere. Like we were already had been writing sketches. I had like 12 characters I got to play, all different voices and body motions and all this crazy shit.
To really showcase your abilities.
Yeah, and we were going to bring all my camera equipment and film it. And like I said, that was going to be my Jim Carrey moment. I was going to show people the range of talent and just the knowledge of comedy that I had. Not only can I write amazing sketches with these people, but I also can play these characters where I disappear into these crazy voices and motions. And then COVID hit, and it all closed down.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Well, you hit it right on the nail. The COVID hit, and there was no more live entertainment whatsoever.
Everything.
I mean, I'm sure as well as the majority of the people that will be listening to this, they consume Joe Rogan and stuff like that. And he constantly talks about LA's dead.
Yep.
There's no more live entertainment there. There's no hub for comedians, people in the improv world, anything like that. Any sort of that content is just gone for LA.
As soon as I don't watch and listen to Joe Rogan religiously. Like when he has somebody like Bill Burr on, or when Dave Chappelle goes on, it has to be somebody that I really want to hear from.
Yeah.
To listen to the whole thing, but I'll watch different clips, like the UFO clips, and when he has people on about
it's a kooky fucking show.
Yeah.
UFO clips.
Yeah, health and fitness,
the alien clips.
Yeah, exactly.
When he brings a live UFO on.
Exactly. But as soon as he announced that he was leaving, I was just like, okay, now I got to start thinking about this, because I don't think it's going to open up, and even if it does, it's not going to be what it was yet. Like we need vaccination. We need to go through this. Everybody needs to be vaccinated before we can start opening this shit up again.
Well, I also think the issue is that, and Keith, I sort of cut you off. Did you want to weigh in there?
What?
I'm sorry. I thought
What issue? Weigh in. What? I gotta stand on a scale?
Yeah. Can you please weigh in, you big giant fat bastard?
Fat as fuck.
No, I think the issue that also coincided with the COVID was the realization of what's capable with just internet. I think I don't think LA will have a bounce back like it would, without the internet being present. If a situation like with COVID has arisen, I think the internet has opened the eyes of the people there that there's a lot that can be accomplished just through the internet, which will not bring revitalization to the LA scene.
Exactly. I mean,
thus you being able to go wherever you want and still be able to, what you were doing in LA will be available everywhere.
Exactly.
Like you were saying, Tom. Like I feel like the whole COVID thing, right? Like we were already moving that way, that direction anyway, to being able to do everything online and on the computer. Like you think about it, is you can do anything you want pretty much on a computer, right? Yeah. Like snow days for school. I mean, that might be a thing of the past.
It's over. Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's gone.
Yeah,
kids, guess what? You
got to wake up and log in.
Exactly.
Great
You're
job,
not going
kindergartners.
Yeah.
Great job, kindergartners, using the fucking computer. Now you'll never have a day off for school, because whenever it snows, you'll just sit there and do it on the computer. Same thing for work. Like,
Yeah, but all that will bring about is a new generation of excuses. Oh, the computer won't work. I can't get it to charge.
It's on fire. I don't know what happened to it.
My dog pissed on the computer. I can't come to class today.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you really want to, there's a way to get out of everything.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, big time. I even before I left Los Angeles, I had a interview with Vice Media. Because on the side, I also do financial production accounting work and bookkeeping. Like I worked at a post-production place in Hollywood, just doing all the books and the accounting and the invoicing shit. So I have that life too that just pays the bills.
A professional life that's going to pay the bills until the
exactly
the celebrity life, or what do you want to call it? The entertainment life would be.
That was just to make enough so I could go about. But now, like I said, I had that interview with Vice, and they're like, dude, it's even when you get the job, it's remote until at least July of next year. Just like, even if you're in another state and it's working well, you can go, we'll probably be fully remote. Because doing accounting work is just Excel sheets and QuickBooks. You give me that shit, I can be anywhere.
You can do it on the couch from any fucking couch in the country, from any country.
Yeah. I could do it blindfolded in Puerto Rico if I wanted to.
Yeah. Like, okay, I guess I'm going to do my job from the Bahamas this week because I don't have to be in an office.
I did hear that actually a lot of people, when they figured out their jobs were going remote, the different countries that weren't having such a bad COVID problem were actually like inviting them to come stay. They were like, "Hey, come stay here."
Hawaii's doing that.
That's what I was going to just bring up. I just saw that article.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just do your job from here, and like that would be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish I had a job where I could just go wherever I wanted to, as long as you have an internet connection.
I think this was the corporate kick in the ass that with the economy needed, of saying, "Hey, look, we could not. I mean, good for the corporations themselves to cut some cost on this, but." Also good for the employee.
Yeah.
You could be in a better work environment.
Dude, because when COVID hit, like I said, I was doing accounting work for that production company. Yeah. And I was working remote, and it was just like, oh, this is an easier life. Like, I could get all the accounting work done by 10:30 a.m. and just write the rest of the day. Either if I want to work and practice on stand-up, I want to finish these sketches for the show. You know, I want to do this. I want to record the podcast, solitary confinement, before I leave. You know, I just had that life. And I hear from people with kids, they're just like, now I don't have to get daycare and a babysitter. Like, we put them in daycare to give us a break now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's nice to be there and watch them grow up. Because I know people that were commuting, like, 4 hours a day, 2 hours there and 2 hours back, and missing bedtime and showers and baths and the kids growing up. So now they could do it. And I think many companies, smart companies, because you don't have to lease this huge commercial building anymore. You don't have to pay for the internet. You don't have to pay for the lights to be on.
There's a lot of overhead involved in a giant
property
corporate
taxes,
building.
Just the water running and buying coffee every day. It's just like a huge money saver. So I don't love that COVID happened, but I love that it pushed us forward to kind of be like, all right, let's work smarter now. Like, we don't need to be in these soul-crushing gray cubicles. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It's horrendous. Like, when I worked at Jefferson, like, before I got the job at Jefferson, I had just gotten over, being addicted to heroin and kind of just trying to get my life together. And that job, like working there for 5-6 years, that allowed me to put my life back together and just like, okay, I needed money, pay off my debts, kind of give me a schedule, kind of give me discipline, and allow me to stay sober. But then after the 6 years, I was like, oh, I hate all this. I'm going to resign. And I resigned. I gave them 6 weeks, and I trained a bunch of people to take over my job. I was like, all right, I'll see you. I'm going to leave. It was the greatest thing I ever did. Like now, my life is so free that I literally have nothing to lose anymore. That's why I'm excited that you guys are into this, because it's like, okay, I'm coming back and I'm hitting the ground running as soon as this comedy stuff opens up. Like, I'm already trying to build a production studio in around town somewhere. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's just like I have all these projects that I want to do, and it's like now I have the crew and the people that are interested in doing it to be a part of it. Like, that's another thing I wanted in Los Angeles. Like, I just wanted to find like-minded individuals that wanted to, dick around. But it's hard to find because people are so competitive and jealous. Like, I would meet these people, like, nobody wanted to be my friend because they think I'm going to take their commercial work. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be in an AT&T commercial, dude.
You have no desire to show off diapers?
I don't fucking care. They're like, well, it pays really well. And it's like, I know it does. But I already make a fine living doing the accounting work and performing and doing, voiceover shit that I don't need to go after, like, I don't want to be in a commercial, but
Well,
they just
you
so
came out there with very
scared.
different means than a lot of
Yes.
people go to LA. A lot of people go out there without any sort of background in anything. They're like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to act, and I'm going to be the next Brad Pitt.
No.
You went out there with comedy goals.
Bradley
which,
Pitts?
yeah, Bradley Pitts.
Bradley Pitts.
But I also had a laundry list of the things that I wanted to accomplish. Like,
Well, there's a level of preparedness that comes with having
Yes.
a little background in multiple things. There's a lot of people that go out there with no specialization or any sort of experience in anything whatsoever but the dream of being an actor or an entertainer or what have you in any sort of fashion.
And what people get wrong a lot, they'll see like, oh, Rick went to Los Angeles to become famous. And it's just like, well, fame has nothing to do with it.
No, fame almost means nothing now because there are so many people that are famous for absolutely nothing.
Dumb shit.
I don't care about that. I wanted to work in the industry that I wanted to work in, whether it's doing it, like if I have to suffer and people tell me, hey, you're never going to be a comedian, I'll still do the open mic nights and do shows until I fucking die.
Well, I think
but if that works
you
out,
share
great.
the same goal as us. It's I want to wake up in the morning and say I can't wait to do what I'm doing because it's what I like to fucking do.
I love to.
I don't care if anything comes from it whatsoever.
Do not care.
As long as I wake up, I'm like, I can't wait to do that.
Yeah,
because I know I can't. I don't wake up and say I can't wait to go fucking work when I'm at my actual job.
Nobody says that.
No.
Like I've wanted to do this since I was a little kid, and
Well,
now
that's what I
I'm
wanted to touch
fucking
on.
doing it. It's just like dreams that you have can come true if you just fucking do it. And it's just like so many people ask me about working out and shit. Just like, how are you so ripped? I'm like, because one, I absolutely love working out. I don't do it for a vanity thing. I absolutely love it.
It's a great fucking release.
Yeah, and people are like, I don't get it. I'm like, all right, I don't know what to
It
say.
pushes the poison out. You stop thinking like, I suck.
Exactly.
I got
It
a
just
lot
all
of
goes away.
I got a lot of that pizza poison inside of me.
Yeah, you got a lot of pizza
love
poison.
that.
This guy needs to start
Pizza's
working
too
out.
good.
He's
It's very good, right? Am I right?
We've touched on his pizza problem way too many times in this podcast
Honestly,
than a dozen episodes or so.
You know, I have to address it. Like, one of the things about being back this way as opposed to California, the pizza has to be
Oh my
a
god!
lot better.
Not even just the pizza, the regular
Oh, yeah.
Chinese
Fuck
food.
Fuck your fitness.
Yeah.
You're back on the East Coast. In
Wawa hoagies. I haven't had a Wawa hoagie. It's so long. I had one the other night. I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, but they're not as good as they used to be.
I
is the
know, but
issue.
it solved the problem.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, when I was away at school, I was nowhere near anywhere that would have a Wawa. When I got back, I was like, I need some fucking
Yeah.
Wawa.
Well, that's the
I
thing,
just want to walk in there and get my business done in Wawa. I can get gas, fill my tires
Yeah.
up, buy snacks and drinks.
I like Wawa because you walk in there and everyone hates each other. You're just looking around like, I fucking hate him. He fucking hates me.
but I'm just here to get my shorty.
Exactly.
Anyway, I just say, being gone for 4 years, like, I mean, when you left, Wawa had to be a little bit different now than it was when you had left. Like, they have huge Wawas everywhere with
Yes.
gas, and now they just came out with, I believe, the first drive-through Wawa. Have you guys seen that?
I have not seen that.
So there's a Wawas are now built like they're building. They started first. They were like a little shack. You went in. You actually talked to the people to order your sandwich.
yes, they would mark it off with
Yep.
that pen.
Exactly.
That
They had
wax
actual
pen.
deli slicers. It
Yep.
wasn't fucking prepackaged meats.
They were like, it's not good enough. All right, let's get gas. So then they built the huge Wawas with the gas stations, and now they're coming out with the drive-through Wawas where you just go in and order whatever you want from the store through a window.
That's pretty.
Making everything
pretty
easier.
dope.
Is that a COVID solution or is that just something they had already
Bro,
planned?
I think it's just Wawa.
or have you not
getting-
delved into the
haven't-
Wawa fucking
haven't
business
done
plan?
a lot of research, but it's just the way that they're moving. And you know what? I mean, I think people are going to take advantage of it, right? Anything that's easier, they're
Oh,
people are gonna-
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the name of the game? Make it as easy as possible and people will flock to it.
Yeah, there's that drive-through liquor store up in the Black Horse Pike.
No way.
Oh yeah.
There's a drive-through liquor
Yeah.
store in the Black Horse Pike.
Yeah, have you not been there?
It used to be like an old Burger King or something. They bought it and turned it into a liquor store, and there's a drive-through.
Where the fuck is that at? I have never.
I think
You're
it's
going there on the
between
way home.
Green Tree and Gantown Road, I believe. I think it's right around there somewhere.
That is on your way home, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I might have to hit that place
Jackson
up.
Road or Jackson Ave, somewhere around there.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That's dope.
Yeah.
Did not know about that.
Just a nice little novelty.
They got the brew-throughs down in Carolina. I went like down to OBX a couple times and you could drive through and get liquor down there.
That's the one great thing about California. Like, if you want alcohol, you could just go in 7-Eleven. They have,
yeah, it's
piece of
everywhere.
shit. Yeah, you can just buy it. It's
I
sweet.
get- wait, what I didn't
Walgreens,
realize-
yeah, Walgreens, CVS, all that shit. There's just alcohol in there. You want wine, you want beer, you want alcohol. It's awesome.
I know you used to do this. I don't know if you still do, but fucking when I drank, I want to smoke a cigarette. I did not realize when I was in California, you cannot smoke a cigarette anywhere.
I haven't smoked cigarettes in years. But
Well,
no,
I tried to force you into it when I was there. I remember.
But also, I like I said, I rarely drink anymore because when I was out in Los Angeles, I didn't know anybody, so it was just like I have no reason to drink. Like I don't buy it.
You were also on a driven path there.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is. I mean, you're not there to party. You were there to achieve something.
Plus, now because I've done so many fucking drugs in my entire life, like. I don't like the way alcohol makes me feel day 2 and 3. Like I'm all anxious and weird and sweaty and depressed, and it's just like, no, I don't need this. I don't need this shit anymore. Yeah, but the only thing that'll be crushing the Xanax up.
Yeah, no, we don't need to get you back on that.
Yeah, it was like, nah.
Yeah, he didn't have any friends out there because they were all scared he was going to take their role in the Colgate commercial.
Exactly.
His nice teeth.
It's such a shame. People, from what I understand, and you hear a lot about LA stuff because it's just everywhere. The way that people treat each other out there and just the non-like-mindedness of people I'll just go with where we are in the Northeast as opposed to where they are there is just ridiculous. Everyone is out for themselves and it's all about their image. And
you see it even driving. People just don't give a fuck. It's just like, you're not going anywhere. There's traffic everywhere, but they're going to cut off in front of you and just like, why, dude?
Every single person is more important than the other person in front of them.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. But out in Los Angeles, I did meet one dude, and the same thing. He just was doing improv and taking improv classes, and he liked theater, which I do too. You know, that's how I got started. I love doing theater, and you know, I did all the plays in high school. Yeah. So him and I, and then he introduced me to his friends, and it was like meeting my friends from home. They were just so cool, and they just did it because they loved it.
People that knew how to hang out.
Yeah, we would go. They would invite me over. Him and his girlfriend would invite me over for game night, and then we had like poker nights. And then when the COVID hit, he would run these poker nights via the Zoom sessions and take care of all of it. And you know, hey, it's $10 to get in. We're gonna play poker for a few hours just to get everybody to see each other.
Were you Venmoing the money to each other and stuff like that?
And it was just
power of the internet.
Yeah, and it was just cool to see other people instead of being there alone in this apartment by myself. So it was just like a nice little break of this literally solitary confinement. So I was just like, all right. He was a cool dude. So Greg, shout out to you, my man. I missed you.
Greg,
and
good job.
And your girlfriend. You guys were so much fun.
They've stayed in LA, I'm assuming.
I think so, because they were from there, you know. Yeah. Which was awesome too, because they could tell you like stories of growing up in Los Angeles.
The people that are actually from there are normal fucking people.
All the transplants, you could tell immediately.
Exactly.
Like, oh, this fucking asshole.
Okay, this guy wants to be, as I said, fucking Brad Pitt. Or you know, that's just the goal of those people. Now you touched on this earlier. You mentioned Jim Carrey.
Yes.
So this is what for some reason, it's a memory that sticks out as a kid. You had an Ace Ventura poster, a massive one in your room growing up.
Yep.
And all the time, your mom would be like, oh, Ricky loves Jim Carrey. Ricky loves Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And for you to say, oh, I'm looking for my Jim Carrey moment, that's great. That's just great perspective for me. I'm like, oh, I knew Ricky loved Jim Carrey when I was a kid.
It was when I first...
Which is a great person to fucking love.
Exactly. No, for sure, 100%.
Well, like before that, because Jim Carrey was on In Living Color, and that was like 1991, I think. But just before that...
I only recently got to see all that.
Oh, my God.
You couldn't find it anywhere, and I was still too young for it.
Yep. But right before that, my dad had a box of cassette tapes down in the basement, like, you know, old Journey and Boston, you know. Yeah, but in there was Eddie Murphy Raw and Delirious, the cassette tapes. And I had those old school tape recorder, you know, that little tape deck. It took like, 15D batteries and weighed like 98 pounds.
Has a little fucking handle that was made out of the cheapest plastic ever.
Exactly. So I put them in there, and I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but I remember the laughter, like, because it was a sold out arena, and he was just crushing. And then as there were some goofy things in there that a kid would laugh, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. Man. He said penis. Yeah, exactly. But then Jim Carrey came on the scene, and he did Fire Marshal Bill, and immediately I could imitate that. Let me show you something. You know, oh, it looked like we struck marrow. You know, he would do all these things, and I would go into school and just imitate him, and my friends fucking loved it.
Well, you also have the Jim Carreyness too. You have the lankiness,
the goofiness, the huge teeth.
Yeah.
I do. I see it a lot.
There's definitely a Jim Carrey-esqueness to it.
He does have Jim Carrey. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he does have a nice big beard now. Right?
Did you see him on Comedians in Cars?
Did he grow a beard out?
Yes.
That would have been 2 or 3 years ago.
I could be wrong.
I think he's clean shaven now, because I believe he was on somebody's show.
He was just on, I think, Conan's podcast and maybe Maron's or something like that. Carrie has taken a very I don't know, eclectic approach to what he's done now.
Man. Well, it makes sense to me. It's just like, okay.
He already did the funniest of the funny. Now he wants to be Mr. Art, and I respect him for it.
And now he's older, and he's been in Hollywood for so long. Yeah. So now he knows the evil and disgusting side of the business. And it's just like, you change as a person after that. You're just like, I hate it. You know, I don't need it anymore. I've excelled, a trillion times over. Yeah, that's a sweet ass beer.
That's a fucking mean ass beer. I think he did shave it. I think I saw something that said he shaved it, but he can grow mean fucking beer.
Yeah.
And props.
I don't want to brag or anything, but I did just watch The Grinch twice in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, I did too.
It's awesome. Everything. Ace Ventura 2, Dumb and Dumber. And that's the thing.
His mannerisms in The Grinch for a child's movie, for a children's fucking
He's so good.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I watch it in a very different respect than I did as a child when it came out. But God damn it, did he fucking...
Yeah.
What he
murdered
do
it when
with
I was
his
a kid.
body and what he could do joke-wise. God damn it.
Yep.
Because that was just like the right age. I was like 9. And then, that was in living color. Then Ace Ventura came out. Then Dumb and Dumber came out. Then Ace Ventura 2. Then The Mask. Liar, Liar. I was just like, this dude is unstoppable. Yeah. And I just would watch that. Then in 8th grade, I remember we had to do a career report, quote unquote career. So we had to pick a career and write like 2 to 3 pages. And my other classmates chose like, I want to be a firefighter and a policeman. And
you wanted to be an idiot.
teacher? No, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Yeah. I wrote a 3-page paper on. I interviewed via email because this was like the dawn of the internet.
Little AOL.
AOL,
You've got mail.
Exactly. I interviewed 3 comedians, and surprisingly, the ventriloquist who replied, he gave me the best he gave me an email that I printed out like verbatim of what to do. He's like, number 1, start watching other comedians and emulate what they do. Start writing jokes and practicing. And then when I was in high school, that's all I would do is just sit there and write stupid little sayings, do these imitations, do Kermit the Frog's voice for my friends. Oh, Miss Piggy. Oh, my little green wiener.
That's pretty good.
Just silly shit.
Just all this, goofy stuff. And it just started to grow from there. And Jerry Seinfeld said it best. He's like, every comedian goes through 3 stages. The first one is you realize that you're funny. So I realized that when I was a kid, especially like in 5th grade was a big turning point because...
You can still remember 5th grade?
Yeah.
Elementary school is gone for me.
Because this moment that I'm going to tell you about sticks out in my mind so well. Yeah. So we were doing a seat work assignment. And it was Miss Boyle's class at St. Lawrence. So we had to take out a piece of loose leaf paper, write our name on it, and number it 1 through 35. I think I had 36 kids in my class. And you were supposed to pass the paper around. And everybody had to write 1 word to describe you. And when I got mine back, it just said, funny, cute, handsome, funny. And then number 6... and I counted, and it was my friend Drew.
I hate him.
No, in big letters, it just said, hilarious. I was like, boom. That's how I was just like, all right, I got one.
That's like the paper form of getting a big laugh at a fucking show.
100%.
It's like everyone was, it's right there. They're saying, oh, God, this guy's funny.
Yep.
Especially in 5th grade. I mean, if he could write hilarious, that's a big word.
Yeah, even
there's a lot of letters.
Exactly.
There's a lot of letters in that word.
Yeah. So that was just like, and I just kept that in the back of my mind. And I just kept, and as a teen and young kid trying to be funny, you're really just annoying to adults. That's all it really is. You're just interrupting class. You're interrupting, you're doing goofy shit to your mom that she hates because she just worked a 12-hour shift.
Yeah. There's that awkward period of where you're definitely funny to your peers, but not to adults.
Nah, they hate you.
But it's something that if you think you are that type of person, it's a necessary evil that you have to have. It's just like, if adults, I'm not doing this now, I'm not going to keep doing this later.
To adults, they're like, is there something wrong with this kid? Should I fucking give him medicine or something? Should I shove something down his throat?
That's when they started giving kids Ritalin.
So he should just calm the fuck down? Like, God damn it.
Punch him in the face, knock him out. Yeah, so it had to be annoying for all those years. But then...
I can, a similar experience, yes, I can completely fucking agree.
But then when I got to high school, I did all the plays in high school from freshman year, and that gave a little professionalism in my mind. It was just like, there's a casting director, there's a set designer. You know, I have to pay attention to these people. The dance teacher is going to come in and teach us this dance, and we're going to have to learn how to sing all these songs. And there was like a schedule, and it was just like, okay, this is pretty serious and this is pretty fun.
It's definitely cool to see what goes into putting on a production. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that a lot of people don't see. They just see the show.
Exactly. Yeah. That months and months of preparation, but it gave me that stage presence, that time on
that's
stage.
What I was going to say. To get stage presence, to be on the stage, to see just the presence itself. Yes, it's. I don't know,
to look out and see 500 people.
It's invaluable.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And even in high school, we had the variety show. You know, it's really a talent show. And I never did stand up at the show, but 1 year or 2 years, I was invited to. There was like I forget what it was. It was like a club that they wrote sketches and they did little comedy sketches in between each act getting set up. Like the band that was getting set up, we would run out there and do like an SNL sketch.
Keep the crowd entertained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was helping them write it and doing these impressions. I remember doing a Chris Rock impression, doing his voice, and it just killed. I won't do it now because people will probably, that's it.
This thing ain't.
Yeah, exactly. But
we don't have the most expansive audience. Yeah, I mean,
but I only did his voice, you know, and it was just the jokes and me able to imitate his voice just murdered. But all these adults, they left. I remember coming to school that next Monday, and one of the teachers like, dude, that's pretty funny.
Yes.
You guys all right?
I don't know. I think I was hitting his desk.
Bro, Tom keeps fucking turning his big ass chair that he's
too big
got
of a chair.
It's the gamer chair.
He's
I'm
hitting
not
the
used to
laptop.
having this setup here.
Dude has this setup where it's like, dude, oh yeah, I'm gonna come down here and game, and he's got this massive gaming chair that just keeps hitting the laptop. Right on the
it was
fucking
comfy.
back.
I bought it for comfort, not for the big. Okay, I liked it. All right, I fucking liked it.
You know the one thing, like, this is not obviously the first time I met you, but the one thing I can see similar, like, you guys both do impressions, right? Like I've heard you just do Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, and he did Kermit.
And you did Kermit the Frog. Tom does some impressions too, so that has to run in the family.
Yeah.
Tom,
I'm just
do your
full
Meatwad.
of fucking voices.
You watch Aqua
you've
Teen
seen
Hunger
Aqua
Force?
Teen Hunger Force.
Do your
Meatwad?
Meatwad. And then you're Carl.
Can I get in the swimming pool?
Oh, yeah, baby, I can listen to that too.
That is
Oh,
Even Woodchuck.
Meatwad's a real easy one to do because it's just in the back of the throat. It's like an animal. Exactly. That's all you gotta do, man. That's all you gotta do, brother.
Dad, I don't have that
Can I get you
talent.
more wings?
I'm so jealous. I
Why
can
can't
maybe
you
do
do
a
it?
Carl. Let me try a Carl. Hold on. Baby, look what I do for you. You see me? I broke my neck.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Hey, Carl, can I get in the swimming pool?
Nah, I don't know about that, me. This is my swimming pool. You gotta go next door.
You know, that show was fucking great.
I love it.
It's all of it. It's just like all those stupid shows of just what that, you know, The Simpsons, Family Guy, all those nonsense shows. Just like
Simpsons was fucking groundbreaking for
Yeah.
years. Now it's just I don't know what the hell happened.
it's just on, and I'm just,
you can't drone on as long as you can with that show, but you know, people, I guess some people
They're
still
still making
consume
it.
it because
Yeah,
it's
just-
still on
yeah.
the fucking air.
they only hired Harvard writers, so they're keeping
exactly.
Harvard writers in
Well, fucking-
business.
That's where Conan got his start. Conan started on The Simpsons.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Then he became
I
an
did
SNL
not know
writer.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He started on The Simpsons.
Then he wrote for Saturday Night Live.
He has one of the quickest wits I've ever seen in my entire life. Like,
Yeah, I
if you watch
enjoyed-
Conan Without Borders, he goes to Israel, and the one wife is like, "Can I get a picture?" And the husband's holding up, and he's like, "He can't hold it because he's so weak." And it's just right out like a cannon. It's just like, holy shit, man!
Yeah, he is. Well, he's extremely intelligent.
Yeah,
but,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, as quick as he is great. He's definitely in the perfect setting for what he has going on skill set wise.
Yeah, and he's just tall and goofy, just doesn't
yeah.
give a fuck, which is
And he
that's what
can
you need.
fucking play
oh
guitar,
yeah,
dude.
I realized that he was playing live, I think, with Bruce Springsteen or some shit, and I was just like
I
blown
saw
away.
that. I saw him
Like,
play with Bill
holy
Burr one
shit.
time or something like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh, Bill Burr. Yeah, Bill Burr plays the drums.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, out in Los Angeles, they would do these the goddamn comedy jam. They would do
Yeah,
these,
that's
you know,
cool.
these shows, and they played like Dean Del Rey. He would come out and see AC/DC, and he sounds just like the dude. And they would just
Dude,
play these
I
metal
watched
songs.
a video
It's
of him
awesome.
singing "Whole Lotta Rosie,"
And it was
Dean
insane.
sounds
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
Don Scott, dude. We should have never got Brian Johnson in there. We should have had Dean Del Rey singing as Bon Scott.
It's amazing. And they were doing it like every, I think, couple months. You know, Bill Burr would play drums. Another comedian would come out and play guitar. It was just, And that's what I like doing too. Like I can play the drums. I'm ridiculous at drums. We're jamming on Sunday. I'm gonna sing and scream some Deftones and some System of a Down songs and shit. Yeah.
Some nice heavy shit.
Yeah, exactly. Some
little
rage.
kickback to the opening music there. We picked a heavier song to fit the setting of our guest here.
That was one of my favorites.
But yeah, no, I think that's one thing. Like honestly, talking about it just right now. It feels like comedians, like to be actually funny, like you have to have some sort of intelligence, right? And to play music,
you can't
also
just fucking
have,
go up there and talk nonsense.
I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Like reading music, everything like that, being talented, like you have to have that intelligence, that quick wit. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's an intelligence or more that you think differently than, like, I took a business and healthcare law class at Thomas Jefferson when I was working there.
How fucking boring was that?
No, it was amazing. And the teacher was, he was like the state's attorney general for New Jersey. So he's basically the government's lawyer.
Yeah.
So I take this class, and it was a hybrid class. So it was mostly online, and we met one night a week. So I take this class, and it was for whatever dumb major I had at Jefferson. And after the class, we take the final online, and then we have our last class the next Thursday night. So it's just like 11 people in the class. So he gives us all our grade, and we're all excited. He's like, all right, everybody's leaving. He's like, Rick, can you just hang back for a second when everybody leaves? So I'm like, okay. And my heart was in my throat. I thought,
had you already known your grade by then?
Yeah, but I was just like, maybe he thinks, because I got a really good grade on the test. And I thought,
there was some plagiarism or something like that.
Exactly. I was like, oh shit, maybe he thinks I'm cheating.
Well, did you cheat?
No.
Okay.
But
for one fucking time he didn't.
No. So what he does is he takes off his jacket and he's like, have you ever thought about going to law school? And I was like,
damn.
I was like, that's funny. I was like, from watching television as a kid, I thought when you got to high school, there would be a debate team to jump on. It's like, I wanted to do that. I was like, I did have it in the back of my mind to go to law school. And one of my favorite comedians, Greg Giraldo, he went to law school.
Lawyer.
Yeah. So that was always in the back of my mind too. But he's like, the reason I ask is he's like, I seen the questions you asked during the class and during the final and all this. He's like, you have the mind to be an exceptionally good lawyer. He's like, what I suggest is you go home and take the LSTAT practice test. He's like, don't study for it, don't do anything, and just see how well you do for it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, how long is law school? He's like, well, law school is 3 years. I was like, ooh. At this time, I was 33. I was like, well, if I go to law school for 3 years, I'll be 36.
Yeah.
And he said this genius line. He's like, well, whether you go to law school or not, you're going to be 36 in 3 years regardless. I was like, oh, shit.
He does have a very valid point.
Very valid point.
The law school thing was always in the back of my mind, but I'm just like, okay, I have the mind to either be a great lawyer or a great comedian. So I'm going to choose a great comedian every single time.
It'll probably be more fun.
It's so much more appealing.
Yes.
And unless it's the Court of Appeals.
And actually, during COVID, I did take the LSTAT practice test. I did pretty fucking well. And I was stoned at the time. I was like, dude, I did pretty well on this.
Hey, I know a couple lawyers. I know a couple very accomplished lawyers. They get fucking stoned.
Yeah. Well, and people think the LSTAT test is a test about law, and it's not. It's critical thinking questions.
Exactly.
It's just like the first question was like, here's a line of code. We're going to give you the rules of this code, and then we're going to ask you questions. Like 1 through 6, the third number is always half of the first number. You know, the last number, it will never be 5. And then it'll be like, okay, if this and this happen, you know, what's the code? You know,
cheese.
What's
cheese.
the... Yeah,
cheese
exactly.
Is the code.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I'm a great critical thinker.
Exactly. So it was cool to see that. Yeah.
You see right where he defaulted to. Cheese.
Exactly.
Goes right back to pizza. It's anything involving pizza with this fat fuck.
There's 3 things that I'm a fan of. It's the bread, the sauce, and the cheese.
That's it, baby. Well, the funny thing is, if you work out hard, you could eat all the pizza that you want. That's a great trade-off.
This is a body built by pizza here. You have to. I would be 472 pounds if I did not work out.
You need the calories after you work out. That's what you need.
It's the mental distress at work. It's like, I hate this. I probably should eat some pizza. So I hate myself more.
Jobs are soul crushing. But
yeah, they are.
But to your point, I don't think it's an intelligence. I think it's just a different way of thinking. I look at the world totally different than myself. Because my mom asked me the other night, she's like, can I ask you something? I'm like, sure. She's like,
You're like, no, Mom, get out of my room.
No, Mom, stop. She's like, where's the line? I was like, well, for me, the line is, if it's funny or not. I was like, I won't say things on stage because I know normal, citizens are going to be butthurt about some things. But in the privacy with other comedians or my friends, I'll say some terrible things, but they're just funny, and everybody would be like, "Oh shit, that's funny."
Play into
The
audience.
best way I can sum this up is you'll agree because you were involved. Our grandpa passed away a couple years ago, and you were sitting there with me, my dad, and yourself, obviously. We were dying laughing.
Yeah.
Dying fucking laughing at a funeral of someone that we cherished.
Yeah.
And it's just there's not an appropriate time for a joke.
No.
It's whether it's funny or not.
Yeah. And that's all it is. And comedy's trial and error. And when you're young, you say dumb things, you hurt people's feelings, but that's how you learn.
You have to learn where that line is because there is a
especially
line
for
no matter
each
what.
people. Yeah, for every person, there's a line that they have. For me, there is no line. Like if you say something to make fun of me, if it's funny, I'm just like, but if you say something that's just corny and just like, all right, well, that's not funny, so go fuck yourself.
And then it's just dismissive. It's like, get away.
Some of my buddies try to do that to me. Like they'll say something sarcastic through a text message and just be like, this is the reason why that line doesn't work. There's no hidden truth in it. Like if you want to write serious jokes and actually send them my way, I'm going to teach you how to do it so I'm not annoyed.
There has to be depth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of surface funny people that
They think I'm going to say something sarcastic to them and it's going to get laughed.
No.
Like, no, you're aggravating
Sarcasm
me
will
because
only get you so far.
It's not funny. I'm going to give you the two lines that are the setup, and I'm going to hit you with that third one, and you're like, oh shit, that's funny.
There has to be a wittiness, and I don't think wit is anything to do with intelligence. I think wit,
it's an unlearned skill. You cannot learn wit. You either have it or you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's people that can comment on anything and fucking have a witty remark to it.
Yeah.
There's people that comment on everything and have not one bit of wit.
But and there's other comedians that are just amazing joke writers that literally write that. Like Jerry Seinfeld literally writes all his bits
jokes.
out. Yeah.
Jerry is fucking. I saw Jerry live a few years ago. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
They were, and at the core of all of his jokes, they're old jokes.
Yeah.
But it is Jerry's jokes, and they're perfect.
Yep, they're little works of art that he created
Exactly.
throughout this
that
entire
took
career.
a lot of sit down and a lot of thought and a lot of critical thinking to
Big
it.
time. He's one of my favorite. Like,
if you want a masterclass on joke writing, he is probably the master joke writer of all time.
Yes,
he kicks back to the the vaudeville joke writing to modern joke writing.
Yes.
He finds the perfect middle ground of every bit of joke writing there is, and it works for everyone. I don't think there's a person on this planet that wouldn't find Jerry Seinfeld funny.
And Dave Chappelle said it best. He's like,
Dave is in a very different respect. Dave can be very off the cuff.
Well, he said the
But
greatest
Dave is also
line.
very well thought. There's everything
and
he
this is
says
why.
has thought behind it.
He says, for a comedian, you don't have to be funny 100% of the time while you're on stage. You just have to be interesting. And that's another thing that I have. Like when I go to I would do these storytelling shows in
Dave also
Los
has
Angeles.
the cool factor. Dave's fucking
he's
cool.
so fucking cool. Yeah.
Cool as fuck.
Yeah. And that just comes with the territory.
Exactly.
Like, that's him.
That's going to gain, like he said, interest. It will gain interest quicker because he's just cool.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was saying, the storytelling shows I would go to, if you want to check it out, you can listen to one, akaRickAdams.com.
Go for it.
Plug yourself up.
Yo, plug it up.
There's one where I robbed these drug dealers when I was addicted to heroin. And the story is just so compelling. But after I did the show, the host and some other people were like, dude, when you were telling that show, I felt like I was there. I was all sweaty and just like, it's crazy. Like the way you describe things, it's unbelievable.
Well, it also takes an intense personality. I get very into stories and stuff like that. When people are talking, I'm very involved in it. I feel very with it. And I think it takes a level of intensity to really vibe with what people are saying as far as comedy goes, or even in just dramatic storytelling. But there's also a like-mindedness that goes with dramatic storytelling along with comedic storytelling.
Oh, big time. And every comedian has a different style. And that's another thing what was tough is not many people are willing to divulge how they go about writing their material, how they come up with it.
Well,
but now that the internet's
that's their fear.
But now that the internet's coming out and people are going on podcasts and doing interviews, that's the thing. Like I learned, Jerry Seinfeld writes them all out.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
podcasts are very close to a masterclass on comedy writing, comedy presence.
Yep.
There's a lot talked about that was never talked about in history ever. Stage performance has never been broken down like it is in the world of podcasting.
And plus, you can just go on YouTube and watch these guys for hours. Like, I had to take a VHS tape and put it in a VCR and tape and record Dave Chappelle's Killing Him Softly, so I had it, so I can watch it a million times.
That's because you're very old.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, once I heard Bill Burr say his joke writing style is similar to mine. Like, I have a huge dry erase board in where I live, my apartment, wherever, and it's 3 foot by 4 foot. And on there, I'll just write a phrase. Like right now, up in the top left corner, I see it in my mind. It just says wine and cheese parties. And from that little phrase, I now have all the bullet points of that bit, which has now, because I've been working on it when I was in LA.
It's
It
also
went
there
from
for reference. Now it's going to pop in your head more often than it would if you were not looking at it.
Yes. And it just has the bullet points of that whole 8-minute bit. And that's what I do. Like Bill Burr, you just go out there. I have this thing. I know I'm funny. These are the bullet points, but I'm just going to riff and flow with this story. Like I don't have it written out where it's a script. It's just pulling funny things from my mind about this story.
And you'll never say it the same twice. It's what's
Exactly.
there. And you know what? There's a way it's going to flow that day. And some days are better than others.
Yeah, it's just a little roadmap that I have to take me down this bit.
This was also the other thing about the LA scene. You said there wasn't a lot of like-mindedness. You come from the Northeast. You come from, obviously.
It's cold, it's rough and tough up here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have a very, very different sense of humor. West
Big
Coast
time.
humor.
Yeah. Most people are bitter.
Yeah, very bitter. Very bitter. Overworked, bitter, cold, or hot, depending on the season. It's I don't know. There's a brand of comedy, especially with what I'm getting at without being, too general, is the New York scene of comedy. New York comedy is extremely different than it is in LA.
Big time.
And me personally, I prefer the New York style of comedy. It's grittier.
Yes.
It's, in my opinion, funnier. But it also comes with more, which I can't say for sure, but I feel as though the scene itself comes with more camaraderie between entertainer and entertainee. LA, there's a lot of camaraderie between the comedians, but the LA scene itself, those people do not, vibe with each other.
Of course. Well, Dave Chappelle just said when he was on Rogan's podcast, Los Angeles is the winner's circle. Like going out there to try to make it in comedy, it seems now in hindsight to me, but I didn't go out there to make it in comedy. I went out there to get a PhD in comedy, learn improv, sketch comedy, storytelling, and continue to do stand-up. And
broaden.
Exactly.
Just to fucking broaden.
Yeah,
Be somewhere different, different scenery.
But that's just a winner's circle. And to perform out there, you already have to be pretty well established to make it and do it in clubs and be good at it.
Or have a real fucking lucky circumstance.
Yeah. But in New York, you're grinding it out, going to open mic nights every night, 3-4 times. Exactly. That's why there's that connectedness where other comedians are there. They're like, oh, we sat in the back, we watched your set because, they're going on next. They heard you. Hey, man, that's pretty funny, man. They keep going. In Los Angeles,
everything feels
nobody
very
does
structured in
yes.
LA. At New York, you're like, all right, I'm going to see this guy. 14 other guys show up. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, it was the best night of my life.
Yeah.
It's just from me as someone in the crowd.
Los Angeles, it's more like people want to do commercials and they want to be in a Netflix movie and they want to be on television.
It's a big money thing.
Yeah.
And being the entertainment hub of the world as LA should be, it should be more about the entertainment. But for a lot of people, it's about the money.
Yeah, it's a payday. Where this is just like, I just love all this shit. It's just fun. I just love performing. I love doing the stand-up. Like I said on Sunday, we're going to jam. I love being the front man of a band. Every comedian wants to be the front man of a band.
I'll fucking tell you,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
fucking sing like a motherfucker.
It's awesome.
I love doing it.
Yeah. People invited me to do plays. I do plays.
It's
awesome.
It's just about fucking being there and entertaining, and it's fun.
You want me to do voiceover work for you? You want me to play different characters? You want me to do a car commercial voiceover thing?
I'll do it.
Exactly.
As long as you're not out in California where they're not going to, they're going to not be friends with you if you do it.
Well, now I can do it remotely, so now it's just like, I can just send the audio file.
It couldn't be a more perfect situation now. It's that I long for a day of a dissolving of the entertainment capital being in one central place.
Well, now it's starting to change.
Entertainment should be everywhere. It should give everyone the opportunity because there's a lot of people without the means to get to LA if that's where they need it to be to do what they wanted, which, in the grand scheme of things, you could accomplish anything anywhere. Right now, it's very easy. Yeah. And it's very exciting.
Well, and that's what was also relieving because when I came back, I could still, all the auditions are online now. So I could still audition for things. Yeah. Like this casting director in New York who I reached out to, she cast for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which is one of my favorite fucking shows.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely fucking brilliant.
The Daily Show, she also cast for Comedy Central. She sent me a nice email because I sent her a nice little, my press package. And she said, thank you for it. And here's,
Oh, how LA of you.
Yeah, exactly. Package. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get paid. Huh? I need to make a little bit of money doing it.
But, I mean, you do definitely have to make a little bit of a living off of it, just saying it.
But I reached out to her specifically because she cast for those things, and just her reaching out and saying, hey, I went to your website. You got a lot of great material on there. Keep up the good work. Here's where we post our castings. Feel free to to submit. So now it's just like, all right, that's all I wanted was that introduction with that woman because I know what she does.
And it held the same weight as being there in person with
Exactly.
an introduction because you don't need to be there in person.
Yeah, I sent her a little thank you card with a $15 Starbucks gift card in there.
You went way above.
Yeah, man, just to get them to notice.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different than the guy that just sent his email.
I've been doing this for almost 20 years, so it's just like, all right, I want to start.
I gotta start getting gift cards now.
Yeah, it's just like I learned a ton out in Los Angeles, but now it's just like, okay, now I need to put everything I learned into practice. Now it's just like, okay, I have this literal PhD of comedy that I can now start to use. So now it's like, okay, now I need to get the ball rolling.
So, ultimate goal, do you want to be doing stand-up on a large scale, or do you want to be entertaining in a more on-screen sense?
I love performing live shows.
Okay.
I absolutely love, like, my ideal thing right now, what I keep thinking of is buying an RV, doing whatever podcast and shows remotely. And then when I have
the beauty of podcasts, it does not have to be centralized.
Yeah.
You only need a few pieces of equipment and you could do it from wherever and be consistent.
Well, that's the thing. Just have a local hub with my production studio, the RV, and then when I have shows, take the RV on the road and go do shows. And when I come back, the production studio's still there,
Yeah.
But that's what all I wanted to do. Now it's just like, okay, start doing, once it opens up, start going into Philly again, going back to New York. Because that's another thing. When I first started doing stand-up, like September 2001, that next year, me and my friends would caravan up to New York like every other week, where I performed at the Manhattan Comedy Club, the Improv, the Broadway Comedy Club, Stand Up New York, Caroline's on Broadway, and we just do all these shows, and it just starts to roll. I got to perform for NBC execs when they were casting for 30 Rock in New York. I opened up for Judah Freeland. That's how I met Joe DeRosa. Like, he doesn't know who the fuck I am, but I remember performing with him a few times. Same thing with Big J. Like, I opened up for Big J at Rascals in Cherry Hill, and I had to be like 19 years old. So this had to be like 2002.
He was barely out of Philly at that point. I don't even think he was in New
He's
York.
only a couple years older, but I think he's like, at that time, maybe 21, 22. But it was just so much fun. Like, we had a host. I featured 15 minutes, and he came out and murdered for 45 minutes. That's the first time I saw him. Like, dude, this guy's going to be a fucking star.
He's hilarious.
Oh, my God. He was
both
awesome.
love him. Yeah.
When I watched
he's
him, I was
very
like,
comfortable with where he's at and stuff like that, but God damn it, more people need to know him. He is such a goddamn hilarious guy.
Well, 100%.
well, the thing is, he's too raw and truthful to be that huge NBC commercials.
Exactly.
And that's where I would like to be. It's just like, I want to say whatever the fuck I want, where nobody can take something away from me. Like, we're pulling your show.
Sacrifice anything. There's no reason for it. Why should you bend the knee to any sort of executive or network? Be happy and content with your art. Be able to stand behind it. Don't sacrifice what you stand behind just to be somewhere monetarily.
Yeah. Well, I think at least Netflix is now being cool, because I saw that Dave Chappelle was upset that his Chappelle show was on Netflix and he didn't get paid for it, and he asked them to take it down, and they did.
I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool that
HBO
Netflix
did it too. They took it down, which was nice.
Was it on HBO Max?
Yeah. That's why he was
pissed. I did the smart
pissed.
thing, and I changed everything. I streamed my shit. I changed my shit to Roku.
Oh, nice.
And I had all Apple TVs. Roku, you can't get fucking HBO Max on.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm like, okay, well, I can't consume any of that content.
Well, I have it through Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime you can buy different channels. So I bought it on Amazon. So when I go into my Amazon Prime, there's also an HBO Max button. Yeah.
I'm paying for HBO through my cable subscription, and I just can't get it on my streaming devices. I only have one cable box in the house.
Yeah. But that was cool of both of those companies to do that, because usually you would think those guys would be assholes and be like, well, this is money, baby. This is business.
No.
But I think the backlash would have just, everybody would be like, bye.
Well, Netflix in particular, they have some stuff going on with Dave.
Yeah.
They don't want to piss Dave
cool.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, if Dave doesn't want that there, okay, they're going to make more money through Dave than they would putting up an old show.
Exactly.
That people are going to watch the two seasons and the bonus season or whatever in fucking 2 weeks. You know what I mean? No, I thought that was very cool of them to take that down for him. They didn't have to do that.
No.
I mean, I thought Chappelle's show was great. So does the whole
fucking
world.
awesome.
Unbelievable.
The whole world.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
For Dave to not want people to watch it, I understand. It hurts him. It was something that he walked away from and didn't get.
Go buy the DVDs.
He doesn't own his content.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah. What do you think it is? 2002?
Yeah. Maybe he has DVDs he can burn for all of us. He can send it to us.
Well, it's a creative issue.
And,
He doesn't.
He can set
own
up a
his
Venmo
freedom.
or a PayPal. We can just pay him for the DVDs that he has. Just keep burning them in your computer.
He don't need that. He don't even
Mail
care
'em out.
about that.
Sign them and mail them out. You know, I met him. That was March of 2002. He was performing at the College of New Jersey with Lewis Black.
Ooh,
And-
Lewis Black
okay.
was very big at that time.
Oh my God! And this was before the Chappelle show, so Dave
Yeah.
wasn't a huge mega star yet.
Yeah, he was just in at that time the Nutty Professor.
Yeah,
He was a
and
kid-
Half Baked was out,
Yeah.
all that shit. So we went and saw him. Like my buddy's now wife, she went to school at the College of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because you had to be a student. So she texted us, and she was like, would you want me to get tickets? She found other girls in her dormitory that weren't going to go to the show to go over and buy
Yeah.
me and Johnny tickets. We drove up there. Me and Johnny got in a car accident in the parking lot. All this crazy shit happened.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect,
dope. Yeah.
perfect college experience.
Exactly. But we get to the show and it just starts. Lewis Black, he came out. He fucking kills. Then the lights go down and Dave Chappelle comes out and he murders for like an hour and 20 minutes. It's just unbelievable. So this auditorium was fucking huge. There had to be 5,000 kids. It was fucking gigantic. So we go outside. Nobody is outside. It's just like a ghost town. Like, where the fuck did all those people go? And like, nobody was there. So I told Johnny and his wife, I was just like, dude, I want to hang out and see if he comes out. Would you mind? Like, no, let's hang out. And all of a sudden, the back door kicks open. This big ass dude with an umbrella because it was like drizzling out. He comes out first, the driver. And he has an umbrella, and we're like, oh shit, there he is. And we're like 50 feet away, and he sees us, and he taps the driver, and tells him to walk him over there with the umbrella. So he starts walking us. So we start walking him.
Even not being as famous as he is now, he can't get wet.
Exactly. So we start like jogging over to him, like, holy shit, dude, that was a great show, unbelievable. He's like, oh, thank you, man, thank you so much, man. Smoking a cigarette.
He's never not.
Nah, and so my buddy Johnny goes, my buddy Rick, he does stand-up comedy. He's actually pretty good at it. He's like, oh, Rick, man, just keep doing it, man. Just keep doing it. That's all I can say is just keep doing it, man. Just like, can I sign anything for you? Just like, yeah. I had my little joke book in my back pocket, so I opened it up and he signed a piece of paper in there.
That's
He's
awesome.
Like, anything else? My buddy's wife, all of a sudden, she pulls out the half-baked VHS tape with the cover on it.
Oh,
and
shit.
Dave Chappelle's like, oh, my God, thank you so much for having this and liking it. So he signs that. Fast forward like 10 years, I'm leaving to go to Los Angeles. So me, Johnny, his wife, and some of my friends, we all go out to dinner like the night before I'm leaving. So Johnny's like, dude, me and my wife, we got something for you. I'll be right back. I'm like, okay. Goes outside. He comes in. He's got his little present, slides it. He's like, you deserve to have this. Open it up. It's the signed copy of the Half Baked for Dave
Dude,
Chappelle.
of course.
amazing.
I still have it. I have the bill from the show. Like, we went back to her dormitory after the show to drink and party, and the playbill was up on the hallway, and I ripped it down, folded it real nice, and put it in my back pocket. I still have the ticket. I have that little paper that he signed,
that's
and that
fucking
bill
awesome.
all framed up in a nice thing. So it's just like this beautiful memorabilia that I have from that night with Dave Chappelle. It's awesome.
Not of the same exact time, but I went to see Jim Brewer.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
from fucking Half-Baked. I have a fucking signed ticket from Jim Brewer when I got to see him.
Awesome.
Fucking, yeah, Brewer's fucking great. That's what's good. But you were talking about Dean Del Rey too. It's a shame Dean is so good at that fucking Bon Scott voice. Jim Brewer kind of already took the AC/DC jokes away from everybody.
Yeah. Oh, man. But those guys that, like I was saying, that goddamn comedy jam, it's just
Oh, that's
awesome
cool.
to see. Yeah,
it's really
it was
fucking
unbelievable.
cool. Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad
that's
they
a
do something like
culmination
that.
of everything I fucking love. I love rock music.
Yeah.
I love comedy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I would like to get respected enough as a comedian to start being able to be invited to shit like that. That's what I
Yeah.
was really hoping in Los Angeles, to like kind of sneak in, be like, hey guys, I'm kind of good at this.
I can sing.
Yeah, no, not even sing. Like, I'm kind of good at stand up. Can you maybe?
Yeah, because they were throwing unknown people onto that and stuff like that.
Exactly. But even when I would go to just like perform over at Hollywood Improv, some of those guys would just walk in, just do their set, and they would be in the back watching yours. It's like, all right, that's the one thing about Los Angeles. It's like the lottery. You wake up that next day, you could go do a show that would change your life. And
Exactly.
like some of those things started to happen for me. Like like before COVID hit, I got cast in that sketch comedy show. Like I was saying, just like that would have propelled me even more forward than I was already at.
And
So-
then it would have gave you some recognition.
yeah,
Then
and
your
the
next time-
content to post. It's because it's all about
Yeah,
content.
it's all about fucking
It's all
content.
about content.
Everything
Oh
is.
God, that's the big issue with what we're doing, man. We're like, all right, we just want to do the podcast.
Yep.
I'm not too into social media, but you have to be.
We
Yeah.
try.
You
Like,
have
that's
to
hard.
fucking be.
It's hard.
Dude,
It's hard
I
to do all
hate
that.
it. I'm older than you guys, so I fucking
yeah.
hate it. I like the Instagram. I despise Facebook, but
Instagram's great because you can
I just
look
forget.
at funny pictures.
Yeah, I just forget sometimes. Just like, I should have posted. And some people are like, oh, you should be posting 3 times a day. I'm just like, fuck
No
out of
way.
here. I don't even want to take a picture of myself.
What the fuck am I going to say
once
3
day.
times a day? Guess what? I shit again.
Yeah, but I see these people. They just hammering at it. They want to get inside
Really
the
fucking
algorithm.
weird. I was on the toilet for the 4th time
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but that's part of it. Like, I was also looking, like, in the back of my mind, to be able to make a little bit more money, whether it be with the production accounting or with actual comedy,
actual
doing
comedy,
shows,
yeah.
to hire somebody to be like, I don't need a full-time assistant, but I need somebody to help me edit the videos and cut. Because
Yeah.
I would sit there.
Because you were still working a real job.
Yeah, and plus, like, the Rational Show that I have up on my website.
Yes.
You can go to akaRickAdams.com/The Rationalist and watch some clips and watch whole episodes. But I was first I was researching all the content for whatever episode we were doing. I was
Yeah.
writing the entire teleprompter thing that I had to read. I would go there, set up all the camera equipment, the lights, the sound stage, set up the teleprompter.
And were you renting time at these spaces as well?
No, thankfully my boss, like, we were in this huge commercial building. It had theater in there that, editors and colorists would come in and do shit on movies. And we had a dope ass office. And the office next to me was empty. And he was just like, dude, bring your stuff in there. He's like, you can leave it in there. So I had the desk and the lights
so
and
it
all
was
the
like having a
cameras.
little fucking desk
I had
set almost.
I had a little sound studio
Yeah.
at work. It was literally right next to my office.
We will never use this. It's all for you.
Exactly. So I would leave
That's
the
living in excess at its finest there for that guy.
It was his family is so fucking rich.
Yeah.
I can't get into the financials of that, but never mind. I almost got in
you
trouble
did
there.
their finances.
Yeah,
Go
I did.
ahead.
I was the accountant for the entire business.
Yeah, how much did they make last year, and how much did they actually fucking
Yeah,
claim?
exactly. But he would allow me to do that, and that made it a little bit easier, where I could just show up in a suit and read off the teleprompter. But it would take me months to do all that shit, and then I would have to edit it all together, and on top of that, put all the little graphics and edit all the little graphics that come up over my shoulder. Like, it was
Gives
just
you perspective
unbelievable.
what goes into shit like
Yeah.
that. Like, obviously, that's why they need a team of people to put
Yeah.
on a production like that.
And people would be like, well, when are you going to make the next one? I'm like, dude, it takes
When
me
I can take
like
a fucking breath.
Yeah, like 4.5, 5 months to do one. I need to take like a week off to start on the other one. But yeah, that's why I like doing the solitary confinement. I only got 2 episodes up there. You could just akaRickAdams.com/solitary. But the second one is about sobriety, how, I got sober and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that really, like, some of my friends have reached out and they're like, hey, me and my wife are getting my shit together. I'm going to, so many of my friends have called, even my single friends are just like, dude, listening to you, what you went through and how you, managed to get over heroin addiction and opioid addiction, it's given me, confidence to kind of get my life together. And that's all I really wanted out. Just like, here's a true story that, hopefully will help you. So it started to, and it's just like, all right, this is what podcasting and putting content out is all about.
Yeah.
Giving somebody the raw truth, or the idea that it can work. Like, yeah, follow your dreams. Just try it. There's no rhyme or reason. It just fucking happens. It's just chaos.
And
you just
also,
put
in
it out
respect to the addiction,
Yeah.
occupy your mind with something better.
Exactly. And that's what really,
Or not necessarily, well, it would be better no matter what, but something constructive.
right. Well, that's where, before I even got back into comedy, after, because I was addicted to Oxycontin and heroin for like 4 or 5 years, from like the time I was around maybe 21, 22 until like 25, 26, somewhere around there.
That's when my parents would say, oh, Ricky's not coming to Christmas this year. I'm like, where's Ricky going to be? He's with his friends.
Yeah, that was it.
And I was like, okay, older kids just hang out with their friends.
Yeah, it just it ruined my entire life. But then once I got out of detox, I needed something to occupy my time.
No,
so
exactly.
I started
because there's
working
gonna
out.
Downtime's going to add a mind space that you're like, I don't know. What should I do? Should I go fucking go get high?
Yeah, exactly. So,
which seems to be the issue for a lot of people. You see, there's so much content on people with addiction and issues like that. And it's like, well, how do I occupy that mind space when I would have downtime when I would just have been high otherwise?
Right. That's why I start working out little by, and then
working out. I think that's
been like
I think
12
that's the
years
answer
now.
to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are fucking depressed, anxious, whatever, go fucking work out.
Yeah. People ask me why I'm ripped. Like right now, not to brag, but I have literally like 8 abs, and it's just ridiculous. And people are just like, "How the fuck does that happen?" I'm just like, I love working out. I absolutely love it.
It clears the head in a way that is not achievable by any drug. By anything.
Nothing. The only things I do are like smoke weed, drink
besides
caffeine.
Domino's Pizza.
Yeah, Domino's Pizza.
Listen, I got abs too. I got
under.
I got one big ab. I got one big ab.
It's not an ab. It's just ab.
Don't look at it.
Put it away.
It's peeking out of the bottom of your shirt. Tuck that back in.
Get away from my kid.
It's just a mustache. That ain't the belly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Creep.
Yeah, when you trading that car in for a van, you fucking creep.
Might be soon. I don't know. You know.
We're driving in an old Mr. Softy truck. Ding, 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 ding. He doesn't even have any ice cream in there.
I didn't realize I had ice cream in the middle of winter.
Kids,
No, get the fuck back inside, son.
I got ice cream and candy.
Come on in. Oh, those poor kids.
Poor kids. Poor kids. Honestly,
you need to move to a different neighborhood now. I hope to God none of your neighbors listen to this.
Yeah, no, I really hope. But honestly, this has been great. Like,
yeah, this is awesome.
Fucking great.
Pretty good cast.
This was my fucking. This is what I wanted. This was the outlet that I wanted to be. I wanted it to be an interview sort of format, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's fucking.
This is awesome.
I tried with someone. He, didn't really pan out too well. That would be my father, who got extremely drunk.
Yeah,
we all have our own unique skill set. You know, some of us have a different unique skill than others.
Unfortunately, this format requires you to talk, and he was unable to talk by the end.
By the end of it, yeah.
Your dad is, I will say, one of the greatest laugh tracks of all time. Like, he's been to so many of my shows, and in the video, you can hear in the back his laugh. Oh, my God. He's the number one person to invite to a comedy show, because his laughter is infectious.
Hilarious.
He is.
He's pretty
Dude,
funny.
when your dad was younger, he was Adam Sandler for me. That's exactly what he was.
That's a good way to look at it.
Oh, God, dude.
He was so fun. He still is. He's hilarious.
Lie about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skill sets I've inherited from him, and fuck, man, the guy is funny.
Yeah.
But I'm 20 times funnier, but God damn it, thanks for giving me a little bit.
Exactly. Like my dad's hilarious too.
Oh,
but
your dad's fucking great.
Sorry,
dude.
Dad.
Sorry.
I could blow you out of the water, especially with the stage. Like, that's another thing that people are so scared to get on stage. Like, people in my family are like, dude, even you getting on stage makes me have to shit. So I'm like, why are you nervous? I'm the one getting on stage. Yeah. Just like, even for this podcast, I just get excited.
It's a couple seconds of jitters. It's a couple seconds.
I don't even get that.
Once you're into the fucking groove, it is what it is.
It's like electricity going through me. Like, I cannot wait to use this electricity.
It's such the podcast itself, and any stage, being on the mic, whatever. It's such a great outlet to just put your thoughts out there, and it's freeing, and it just feels fucking.
We don't have thoughts because this is thoughtless.
Yeah, brother, we are thoughtless.
We don't have no thoughts.
There's no fucking thoughts.
Zero.
I just wanted to tell you, all these, because I've lived like 1,000 lives already, and I'm only 38 years old. I've gotten to do so much and meet so many. Like, I've met Pantera, I've met System of a Down, Deftones. Like, I've gotten to do so many.
And that's such a different respect than what you're interested.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously very interested in that as well, but. Your pursuit is not fucking rock and roll, but god damn it, to meet them people, it's so fucking cool.
It's just a cool thing, especially as a kid. You're like 19 years old, and these big rock stars come in. Holy
that was us
shit!
When we were kids going to Warped Tour again to meet like fucking A Day to Remember. Fucking We Came as Romans, Devil Wears Prada, meeting those guys.
Yeah, and just get you in that mindset.
I found the guitar pick last time we saw Prada. Remember, he gave me a fucking pick. The singer. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it just when you see professionalism. Whether it be musicians or comedians or actors, it just makes you step your game up that much more.
I just think there's such a respect that
awesome.
live entertainment deserves.
Yep.
That it's I don't know, it's very attractive to me.
Oh, big time. And that's why I also love the competition. Like, I love watching other comedians and seeing how well they're doing. Just like, okay, the game is really starting to change, and it's just like, all right, here you have to bring out some heavy hitters. So
I think the amount of platforms there are for comedy now is great, because it took, not that it took away, because there will always be those people, but the people that are jealous and stuff like that. It's more people are happy for the accomplishment of others in
Yeah,
this field. And
because you
it's-
know how difficult it is to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why every single American should work in a restaurant for at least 2 years.
I never had the experience.
Oh my
but
God! I worked at Laurel Seafood for like.
I remember.
I got a job there when I was like 13, washing dishes.
Yeah, my dad would show up with a
Yeah.
bag of scallops. He's like, how'd you get them? Like, I don't know. Ricky threw them out the door.
Yeah. I worked there until I was like 21, 22. But it just taught me discipline and you know, getting up early in the morning and you know, just work ethic, and it just allowed me to make money, like buying my own cars as a teenager and shit. Not having to depend on my parents, because my parents they don't have money. You know, they were working full time, so they can't buy me shit.
Don't make your mom feel bad. She has money, okay?
Well, now she does. And now they're doing wonderful.
I just saw the Christmas lights, by the way. They look good.
Yeah,
Jamie
that's the
sent
thing.
me a picture. I was like, what's yours look like? She's like, I'm not showing you.
That's the thing. Now that I'm home, I got to do all this shit. Like I'm climbing up on the roof, you know, hanging Christmas lights. And it's like, what the hell? Now it
that's
snowed
what I gotta
yesterday.
fucking do.
Christmas
I got
lights
my own house,
suck.
and now I got to do my own shit.
I didn't realize how bad Christmas lights suck until this year.
They're
was
in
the
a
first
fucking
year I owned
ball.
a house. It's the worst. It's the fucking worst.
I'm throwing them
hate
away
it.
every year. I'm just buying them fucking new every year.
Mine
Fuck
as
it.
well. Mine as well. Honestly.
Actually, I had to. I've had my house for fucking 3 years. I brought shit out. They were all dead. Nothing fucking worked. I was
They
like, I
never
guess
do.
I have to buy new shit.
Yeah, they never. And it's so much easier just to go buy them because Walgreens will have them for like $7.99 each. And just
Now-
like fuck it.
And plus, everything's LED now,
Yeah,
and they fucking
fuck
last.
it. Yep. I'll
Yeah.
throw these shitty ones away. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck it. I had glass ones. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with these?
Well, even yesterday when it snowed, like that's what like the lowrider doesn't come drive well in the snow. Like I didn't expect to have my car from California here in New Jersey, so I'm glad we were able to postpone at least a day because driving down here, I would have definitely gotten an accident.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I appreciate you guys changing the schedule.
Do you have your car from LA out
yeah,
here?
I had the Audi shipped across the country.
you had it shipped?
I saw it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I had
didn't
to.
even, I didn't even notice it when I was walking outside.
Because it's just like I need a car in Jersey. Like
Yeah.
My parents
Why
live in the
didn't you
middle of
drive it
nowhere.
back? It's such a quick drive.
Oh my god, it was way cheaper just to ship it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the cost of gas that would have brought it across, and the headache itself.
Well, if I could have hooked a trailer up to it and trailed it and trailered all
It's a
my shit
small
across,
little fucking car.
yeah, there's no way. So I
So
just
you shipped everything, including the car, back.
yeah, I shipped the car that went on one of those trucks, and then I used one of those U-Haul boxes called a U-box. I just loaded all my shit in one of them. It's
Oh, and
basically
they just drop it the fuck off here?
yeah, it's just a life in a box that you leave in
fuck
Los
it.
Angeles. They drop it off at the U-Haul in Berlin. I went down there. They hooked it up to a truck for me. I brought it home, emptied it, brought it back to them. Thanks.
That's great.
See ya.
It's like you did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
All you did was take a plane ride.
I just had to fly back. Yeah, that's all I had to do. Yep.
But you had to wear a mask the whole time on a plane.
Yes, that
fucking
was the only.
sucks.
Yeah,
I've taken many of fucking flights during COVID, and it sucks.
the first time I flew because this was like July, so nobody knew COVID. I had one of those N95 masks, and oh my
Yeah.
god, for 6.5 hours because you got to not only do you got to wear it on a plane, but you got to wear it in the Uber ride for the hour ride to the airport too.
It fucking blows.
Oh my god, it was brutal. But
God.
like even for like a day and a half, it still felt like I had the mask on.
Yeah.
Because I just
They're
wore it for
fucking
so long.
brutal.
But
That's
now
what I can't stand about the gyms, man. How am I going to run on the treadmill with this fucking mask on?
that I don't do any cardio, but working out in a mask, I get it. Just like it's tough. I'm heaving, but it's just like fuck it. I get it.
Regular working out, it is what it is. If
Yeah.
I'm between set squat, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'll pull it down.
I don't even do that. I only take it like pull it off just to take a sip of my pre-workout, put it on, just because
That's why I
for
bring
other people,
I used
I
to
don't
not
care for
bring
me.
a water bottle. I keep a water bottle with me just so I can pull it down. I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, I have this, mini hand sanitizer I bring everywhere. So I'm not a germaphobe, but I'm very aware of germs from working at Thomas Jefferson University, like going over to the hospital
That's
all
gonna
the time.
put you in a setting where you're like, well,
Yeah.
I should probably have clean hands.
Yeah, even the nurses that I work with, they're like, "Are you a germaphobe? Because you wash your hands more than we wash our hands." And just like we're just concerned because I would use it all the time. Just like I don't know, I'm cautious about it. I don't know. I'm a freak.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
But at the gym now, I'm just happy to be able to work out. Like once everything locked down in COVID, I was just in that apartment. I couldn't I could go food shopping. That was about
Yeah.
it. So it was just like I have nothing to do.
I got very lucky. A friend of mine had a garage that had some equipment in it. We bought some and got our hands on stuff fairly cheap and was able to get it before the people rushed and bought everything.
Yeah, that's another thing. I
And-
couldn't find dumbbells or anything to go buy.
Dude, we had a Smith machine, a squat rack,
Oh, dude,
a
I would've-
bench, everything.
I would have killed for that.
Yeah.
But even when I came home, I asked my parents, how would you feel if I got a gym membership down the road here? And they were just like, well, when you come home, just, throw your clothes somewhere.
You do have to be worried. Your mom is ancient compared to my mom.
Well, just like, I didn't want them, like I said, when I showed up to your house, I had a mask on. I'm just
hoping she listens because I always make the joke how much older she is than my mom. Because my mom's the youngest, your mom's the oldest.
5 sisters. Hopefully there's some time in between. Otherwise, Grandpa would just banging them out.
All right. Irish twins.
Yeah, exactly. But even when I showed up to your house, I had the mask on because I just don't know the rules of other people's house. I just want to be respectful, especially for my parents' house. It's not my house.
I've been out in the world the whole time since COVID because of work. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think it has ran through my house very early on. Maybe I don't know. I don't get sick. I'm an immune freak. Okay. I don't get colds. I'm just better than
my dad says the same thing, and it's probably from all those years working down at the casino, breathing all that shitty air.
100%.
Yeah. The flu can't even penetrate him. But last year, when I came home for Christmas, I was deathly ill. Like, I definitely most likely had either pneumonia or COVID because I had like 104 fever, a terrible chest infection. Like, I coughed something up on Christmas Eve and it filled my fucking mouth, and it was like lime green, like that green on your chair. You
had a fun cough.
Oh, it was terrible. But we didn't know that COVID was a thing until I got back to Los Angeles and was just like, oh shit, this thing's spreading. I was like,
going around?
It was like
maybe I had
similar.
that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that's weird.
We went down to casinos in January, and my wife swears she had it. She couldn't taste, she couldn't smell. She was sick for fucking 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't. Luckily, this makes me think that it wasn't it because that was Christmas Eve into Christmas, and then by a day later, I was already out partying with my friends, and my mom hooked me up with antibiotics from the doctor's office. So I was
she does hook us up.
Yeah, that's the greatest thing. Just like,
hey, guess what I need?
Here's that Z-Pack. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, how we look? Plug what you need to plug.
No.
Yeah. If you guys want to just go,
I got you on the closing too. I make sure I took notes. I wrote everything down. Now I've been a little quiet, but I've been.
Do you have anything else you want to go over, Keith?
No, I think we're pretty much good, right?
No, I think this was fucking great.
This
has been a solid fucking interview. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you guys invited me. Thank you so much for the invite and allowing me to even just share my story. Like, nobody asks us about this shit because nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
They just want to see me perform. Like, people know that I'm home now.
Nobody knows the nuance of what you were doing. I mean, I'm very intrigued by this world. I'm very involved in this world now, doing the podcast and whatnot. It was very interesting to me, and I was excited to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, because people just think I randomly chose. Like, no, I've been dreaming about this since I've been a little kid.
To most people was you went out to L.A., you worked at a grocery store, and you picked your nose all day in your apartment.
He was out there trying to be famous, and just like, nah, I was taking improv classes.
They think you were walking around the studios, but can I act for you? Can I act for you?
Hey, who wants me to tell jokes in their basement, huh?
Who wants to laugh with me? I'm silly.
Exactly. But yeah, if you guys and gals that are listening, if you want to check me out, akaRickAdams.com has my stand-up on there, has Solitary Confinement, which is a small little podcast I do, old clips of The Rationalist Show, which is kind of like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, just my crazy version of it, and just Twitter and Instagram if you guys want to follow me, akaRickAdams. It's so easy. You can look it up on YouTube and find me, akaRickAdams.com. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
And again, to everyone, thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Keith and Tom. If you really enjoyed it, check out our Patreon, also at Keith and Dom.
Yeah, give us
Keith
some
and Tom.
fucking money.
Not Keith and Dom.
Keith and Dom. I'm changing my name next week.
Also, definitely a special thank you to our guest, Rick Adams. Check out his Instagram. Again, if you didn't get it off him, at akaRickAdams. Please make sure you check him out. Also, visit his website at www.akaRickAdams.com. That's 1D, not 2Ds. Also,
but Keith is looking for
check out his show on there, The Rationalist, or listen to his podcast, Solitary Confinement. Thanks again, guys. We out.
It's not playing, Keith.
Tom's trying to play a song. There it is.
Hey yo, this take me back to like when I used to sit in front of the TV, with a cereal bowl. Rap. Apple Jacks and cartoons. I shine bright even in the dark room. Watching Flintstones. Yabba dabba do. Cereal for lunch, man, I eat that in the afternoon. Yeah, that's how I get my day started. Yeah, what you know about a Hey Arnold? Cartoons where I learned all my lessons. Biggie said sky's the limit, I'm George Jetson.